punt.
Best offensive player and their best defensive player.
All right, today's guest we've got is from Kyabram in country Victoria. He's gone from local footy to punting in the college football playoff final at Hard Rock Stadium. He's been a multiple season starter at the Miami U, been a Ray Guy watch list, which is the award to the best punter in college football. Let's welcome Dylan Joyce.
Dylan,
Thanks,
welcome
Amber
aboard.
boys. Glad to be
mate,
on.
thanks for coming in, mate.
No worries.
Big week.
Very big week. It's been busy. Classes starting back up, and then obviously we got the game this weekend.
Yeah, far
yeah.
out. Mate, honestly, we were like doing a bit of a deep dive on your story before, and you've gone from Kyabram, the Murray River, to Miami Beach.
Yeah.
Bit of a different mix, eh?
Pretty crazy. Yeah, ended up being a bit of a weird story how I got there, but nonetheless ended up in Miami, and I'm very grateful for being here.
All right, mate. Sounds like something we have to dive into, eh?
Yeah, now we can dive into it.
Love it, mate. Love it. And, mate, my probably favourite moment for you this season was your 73-yard punt. I was going through a lot of the statistics. I'm like, that is ridiculous. So run us through what that one was like.
So that one was SMU. And, yeah, I was honestly a little bit shattered after that one because it could have been stopped on, like, the 3-yard line, but it wasn't. And it was kind of kicked into end zone, which like kind of messed my net up a little bit, but it's still a good punt. But in the moment, I was kind of unhappy with it because I thought we were going to stop it on the 3-yard line, but that's all right. Ended up being good. That's me career long, so ended up being all right.
A big career long for a lot of blokes, I would have thought. That is 66 metres, I think that is. That is freaking huge.
Well, it did get a nice roll, though. I got a generous roll, but it was
That's
all
what
good.
we like. Awesome. Well, mate, I guess we'd love to speak a little bit more about like the Aussie roots and footy pathway. I know sort of speaking with Mitch McCarthy the other day, it's honestly blew my mind sort of like how, like it's not so much one of those things where someone comes and scouts you. It's from what Mitch was saying, it's more you reach out to someone else. So, mate, would absolutely love to hear a bit more about your story and how you got punting.
Yeah. So basically grew up playing footy in Kyabram and then obviously Tongala, and then ended up making the switch over to Miami in the Murray League. And one of the blokes that I was playing with, my good mate Tom Sheldon, he actually played at UNC. He was punting for UNC in I think 2016. And basically like one day, like after training, we were just, messing around, kicking torps just for fun. And I was must have been getting onto him because he's kind of like, oh, have you heard about like, he's like, you should just go over to America and just punt. And I was like, oh, yeah, funny, like good one. But then he's like, nah, like actually, I did it. And I know the bloke who like runs it, like Nathan Chapman, that pro kick. Anyway, he just gets some videos and sends them through, and they end up being like, oh, yeah, like we'd love to have him down for a trial and whatever. And so I was like, all right, middle of footy season, I'll go down for a trial. I think it was like early footy season, went down there and they said like, yeah, we'd love to have you. Like, I think we can get you somewhere by the end of the year. And I was like, oh, I think that's a bit of a long shot. Like, I didn't think I was in them flash, but obviously they seen something. And then I didn't start until August because I was actually like in the middle of building, like getting my house built back in Kyabram. So I didn't start pro kick until August, and then did that for about 3 months, and then ended up getting a FaceTime call from Marwan Malouf, special teams coordinator at the time at Miami, and kicked a few balls in front of him on FaceTime, and basically at the end of the call, I had a scholarship to Miami. It was pretty crazy.
That's
pretty surreal. Yeah, but then, I think that was about late November, and then all of December was just trying to work the visa stuff out, figure all that out, find, apartments, like apartment hunting over here and stuff like that. But yeah, December was pretty crazy. December 22 was crazy. And then, over in America, Miami by Jan 13th, just in time for the winter training. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's
really?
crazy, mate. That's
very
crazy.
quick turnaround. Yeah,
You've
I didn't
gone from
expect it. Yeah.
building a house in Kyabram to living in Miami within 6 months. Like, that's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, so I come over to Miami with a mortgage. That's like, it was pretty crazy. Miami's expensive enough, and paying for a house back in Kyabram.
What did you do for work when you were in Kyabram?
I was a welder, so I was welding for a few years, and before that, like we owned a couple of shops in Kyabram and Echuca, like industrial supply shops. So I was just working in there with Dad for a year or so, just in between jobs and graduating high school. So did a little bit. I was landscaping for a little bit as well. I was just doing everything, honestly, just
Yeah.
trying to figure it all out. But I'm glad I ended up hanging up the tools and started kicking a football.
When we were talking to Mitch, he was saying the exact same thing. He was like, the going back to being back in Australia and working a job compared to kicking in massive college football games. We're like, we know what
Yeah.
we'd rather be doing.
Yeah. Yeah, like looking back, like I'm glad that I took the risk because it definitely paid off.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. How did you adjust, I guess, in the early days from regional Victoria to moving over to Miami and South Beach and everything that comes with, I guess, living in Miami?
Yeah, it was pretty weird. I think it was good. I had a good roommate. I still live with him at the moment. His name's Michael Donovan. Shout out if he ever listens to the pod. But him and his family are really, really good for me. You know, just the adjustment with living and like even like driving, like even that's a big thing. Like driving on the wrong side of the road and just getting used to American customs. Even like the tipping stuff. Like I never tipped when I first got here, and I got a few greasies walking out, but I didn't know why. But even just like little stuff like that, like they were unreal. And my old long sapper Mason Napper, when I first got here, like we lived in the same building. I think I had a lot of help adjusting, but definitely like rolling around South Beach and things like that. It's kind of, you see all the crazies out and stuff, and I'm like, I just don't get this anywhere. Like honestly,
Yes.
like even let alone like Kyabram. It's just it's good now though. Kind of settled in, found a good spot, and it's good that I'm going all right. So that kind of helps too. Just don't get too flustered and stuff. But yeah, it's been good.
When you first went over, you obviously took over from Lou Headley, like another Aussie punter who got drafted the year that you moved over. Did that
Yeah,
help at all with the I guess moving over, them having an Australian previously? Did Lou give you any advice? How was that sort of transition?
it was good. Lou actually lived here. We lived in the same building that I moved into. So he was still living here for up till about like the start of May. So I think like 4 months. So that was really good. And he was just training for his pro day. So he was free like most most of the time. So I could just go up, like go down to his room, just chat to him. Like he's probably been my biggest mentor over here. And he's been really good to me, just helping me out, learning the ropes with Miami and what the coaches can expect of me, and like show me around campus, show me and my family around Miami and stuff. So he's been unreal, even just outside of football too. So
That's awesome. So we're going to do a bit of a deep dive on the Miami season and just go through a few pivotal games for yourself this year, mate.
yeah,
I think one that I sort of stuck out for me was the big win against Notre Dame. I think you guys got up
yeah,
27-24.
yeah.
Mate, run us through a little bit about that.
Well, that was good fun. That was the season opener. It was packed house. It was loud. It was second loudest stadium I played in all season. It was the first, but then we ended up playing at A&M. That was definitely the loudest. But Notre Dame was good. Like they had like the whole build up, the whole rivalry, and Catholics versus convicts and stuff like that. And we had a bunch of ex players coming. I think we had Jimmy Johnson come in and talk to us, and then we had John Vilma come in and like just tell us like how much the rivalry means and how much it means to beat Notre Dame. And especially like at Hard Rock and stuff. So the week leading up to it was sick, and then the game come round, and I think the first field goal stat was a fire call. It was on the ground, so that was a good start. That was a really
Welcome
good
to the
start.
game.
Yeah, I got -2 rushing yards for the year for that. So, that was a good start. And then ended up, we ended up getting up a little bit, and they came back, and then I think it ended up going. They tied it like 24-24, and then we ended up kicking the field goal to put us up, I think, with a minute left, and that was pretty special. Like that was a good. It was good. Like having the start that we had with the field goal, and then being able to rebound and essentially get us the win for the against Notre Dame. It was pretty cool just to like show, like set the tone for the year, kind of. You know what I mean? Just like even if we have a bad rep, it's not the end of the world. But that was good. The week after that on campus was pretty cool. I was pretty happy.
Sick, mate. That's sick. Was there any other sort of pivotal games you felt throughout the year where you really had that click moment where you thought, oh, we are legit, like we can win this whole thing?
I think, well, it was good that early we played a lot of ranked teams and we were winning. Like we won every one of them. So I think it was going into our second bye, our first bye after we just beat Florida. I was like, oh, we're going to be good. And then coming off the bye week, Miami's like notoriously pretty bad off a bye week, or come out pretty slow. And then we're playing FSU at FSU off a bye week. And I thought, oh, this one will be a test because I think they had just come off a loss to Virginia, so they were still ranked, but they'd beat Alabama. And this was early in the season, but they beat Alabama and stuff, and ended up knocking them off for going into another bye week. And I thought, okay, like I think we're going to be up there. And I think we were ranked 2 at that stage. And I was like, oh, we're going to be having a good year. Not going to be punting that much. So
I guess while we're getting into it, then it's sort of following along from here. As you said, you're ranked number 2 in the country. Everyone's thinking the U's all the way back, and then you sort of drop those couple of games within 3 weeks to SMU. For first to Louisville, then to SMU.
yeah,
Louisville at the time, it was a shock, but ended up having a really good season. The national media was all over it from what we were hearing. Carson Beck isn't a good teammate. Miami are frauds. Like, what sort of happened in that time that was, I guess, made you be able to rebound from it and then finish the year like a house on fire?
Well, I think it was after the Louisville game. It was one of them, or I think it might have been the SMU game. It was one of them, but we had a players only meeting, and basically all the seniors got up and just said they used past examples like Ohio State lost to Michigan and they still made the Natty and won it and that kind of thing. Like, don't let 1 or 2 games define our whole season. We played poorly in those 2 games, but every other game we played unbelievable. Like, we just need to stay true to ourselves and how we play. And they basically just got up and told them how much the U means to them, and this is their last ride, and we have the team for it. And if we don't take that opportunity, then they're never going to let it down for the rest of their lives and stuff. So it was a really highly emotional meeting, and I think that stirred a lot of the boys on to, just go out there and just do it for them and just play, your game and stuff too. Like, it doesn't matter if you're a freshman or a senior, like you can go out there and make a difference. So, and I think we kind of, they were saying we kind of got a little bit complacent and stuff like that too, which it does creep in. But I think off the back of those meetings, we ended up turning around, and I think their last 6 games, I think we scored over 35 points every game or something like that. I don't know what the stat was, but like 30 points a game at least. But yeah, ended up turning around, and we were just kind of, it was a good way to respond to all the hate and all the doubt that everyone had. It was nice.
Well, that's it. I think, yeah, the little stats we've got here is no one got within 17 points of you in the last month, and you had a statement win against number 22 Pittsburgh, 38-7 to finish the season.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, I was missing the ACC championship. I was trying to wrap my head around how Duke, who weren't ranked at the time, in the championship, in the ACC championship, yet Miami weren't. Can you sort of just explain that? And then I guess in terms of the college football playoff, yourselves and Notre Dame were fighting for that probably 10th spot.
Yeah.
Maybe there was a couple of SEC teams as well. But do you want to just run us through that? And I guess the emotions as you're trying to hope that you're in the playoff, but with it not being really in your control?
Yeah. Well, how Duke made it, your guess is as good as mine. I honestly don't know how that all worked out, but in the end, it ended up working out. It was probably the right path for us. But yeah, the last game, it was kind of hard, going into the last few games, knowing that you're banking on other teams to, lose, win. Everything's out of your control, kind of. And I personally don't like that. I don't know if anyone likes that, but it's kind of tough watching the last few games of the season, knowing that your season's riding, or your chance at playoffs are riding on the games, and then ended up getting down to the nitty gritty, and Bama got in ninth, and then there was number 10 spot, and everyone knew it was us or Notre Dame, and we had the head to head, and as soon as I seen that Bama 9, I thought, okay, I think we're a good chance of sneaking in here, and then we ended up sneaking in. Oh, that was electric. Me and Mike were on our couch with our kicker Bert Auburn, and we were just going off. We didn't have a whole team thing. It was just just stay home, watch it, see what happens, and then they'll send a text out for a meeting the next day or whatever. But that was electric. It was good.
That's it. It's crazy because it's, as you say, you don't know if you're ever going to play. The season's done, or if you're playing playoffs. It's a massive thing too.
Yeah. Well, I think the last few games, our run at the end of the season definitely helped us just show everyone that we're still the same team that we were. We just had a couple of bad games, and we can't let that be the whole narrative of the season. But it was really nice seeing that we were playing at A&M. I've always wanted to play there, so it was good to get there.
Did you say that was the loudest?
That was definitely the loudest. I think it was that's the most I've played in front of too. I think it was 104, 105,000. That was good fun.
Bigger than a granny, mate.
Yeah, it was huge. But that game was crazy. They're all with all white towels just flinging them around. It was pretty cool. They do the power running in. That was pretty electric.
Mate, when you're not playing in front of a crowd that big, is there, for yourself, is there any extra jitters? Does it sort of change anything about your routine? Do you have to put more focus on blocking it all out, or do you just go do your thing?
Me personally, I think it gives you more. It's definitely nerves, but I think it's a good nervous energy. It's adrenaline. I kind of don't have to go out there and try, smack kick the leather off it. You know what I mean? I just go out there, kick my ball, and with the adrenaline, you're gonna kick, 50 yards with that much adrenaline. You're gonna smoke them. So I get pretty good at kind of blocking it out, just worrying about the ball and worrying about snap, and I have trust in my teammates that they're gonna block their assignments and stuff like that. And I trust that the snap's going to be in the right spot. So for me, I just got to worry about, myself. I don't have to worry about too much external stuff. And, the fans can, say whatever they want or throw whatever they want at you. But at the end of the day, that don't affect, they can't make a play on the field. So you just kind of worry about what you got to do and just make sure you got to do it right.
Awesome. And then, moving forward, you guys obviously moved into the Cotton Bowl against ranked number 2 Ohio State.
Yeah.
Massive statement win.
Yeah, that was a good one. I was nervous for that one.
Where were you situated when Carson Beck? No, that was Fiestwell. Sorry,
that was Fiesta.
Yeah. How did you like? You're playing against Ohio State. They're like as good as it gets. Everyone thinks they had the hiccup against Indiana, but at the end of the day, they're still Ohio State reigning national champions. Yeah, like what did you gain from that after beating Ohio State?
A lot of confidence. Yeah, a lot. Yeah, a lot of confidence. Like I was nervous going into that one just because Ohio State defending champs. They've been there so many times. So like even when we were up by like 10, I think I was like, oh, there's still time on the clock. Like they're gonna find a way to like come back. But our defense was just electric all day. Like they didn't give them a sniff all day. Like being on the sideline watching that, there was like a different feel on the sideline being compared to the start of the game, and then during the game, how we were playing and how our players were, walking around, acting and stuff. I was like, okay, we're actually going to probably put belt to ass on them. The old Michael Irvin BTA, the boys played unreal and made my job easy too. So it was good.
That's what we like, mate. That's what we like. Obviously, the next week, the Fiesta Bowl against Ole Miss. I think Adam was about to ask you before, where were you when Carson Beck ran that one in, mate? And what was that like?
I was catching snaps from my long snapper because we were getting ready to go out for a field goal to send it to overtime. So I think it was third down. And cause he usually send some field goals back, and then we usually like get straight up and get ready to run out, depending on how the play goes. And then you just like see 3 Ole Miss players go down, and the whole left side of the field opens up, and you're like, "Holy crap, we're gonna win!" Like it was pretty crazy. And like everyone, like the whole back was like behind the play was like all Ole Miss fans, and you just see all the hands go like that. You feel behind us throw the hands up, and it was electric. That was cool. And then you run out there for the field goal, and everyone's on this field celebrating, talking shit to the other team. And like it was pretty hectic. And then you look behind the bench running off, and there's just so many fans that are like crying, happy, and hugging each other because it's been so long that we've gone there. But that was definitely a player that I'll remember for a long time. It was very, very cool.
Mate.
How'd the heart go when Trinidad Chambliss drove down the field with about 20 seconds left?
I thought that was game. I thought we were done, and then he ends up throwing like 4 sea balls and gets to the 40-yard line, and I'm like, oh. I thought he nearly got it, but defense pulled through again. Defense had been insane. So, but yeah, that was electric celebrations after that. Sending us to Natty for the first time in a while.
So the Natty, mate, the big dance, hey?
Yeah, big dance.
It's in Miami, isn't it? Hard Rock Stadium, which pretty awesome for you guys. But with the way that Indiana has sort of been traveling, it's like almost every game's been a home game for them as well. So I guess what preparation like? Is it same as most weeks? Are you trying to just keep it similar, or is there anything sort of special you guys are putting into it?
Yeah, we're just trying to keep it as close to just a normal home game as possible. So we just do our normal stuff. I think we had a couple of meetings today, and then we'll have because we play on Monday, we usually like go from the week out. So tomorrow we'll actually start our walkthroughs and practices and stuff like that, then go over the weekend and just go to the hotel like our normal days. I think we might go a couple of days before because we have to, but I think we're staying, the same usual hotel that we do just in the home and away season, and we're just trying to make it feel like a home and away season game as much as possible. Just trying to avoid all the hype and all the Cinderella stories and all that kind of stuff around it. But yeah, it's just another game at this point.
Mate, that's epic.
I just got a quick one. I just been thinking, how's Carson Beck like? the guy come in pretty much as a rock star, and he's dating one of the Cavender twins. He's driving around in Lambos. Like, can you just like let us in a little bit on Carson Beck, the person? Because from afar you hear a lot of stories, but you never really get to hear, I don't think, from people that are sitting there next to him, playing with him, what the sort of person he is, and I guess the player as well. He's taken you to the promised land.
Yeah, Carson's a good guy. I mean, like, I try to stay out of everyone's way and stuff, but, you run into people in the nutrition lounge and, brekkie with him, you just chat to him, He's just a regular guy at the end of the day, like, likes doing the same stuff, likes, just loves football. Like, he's just one of the boys. Like, I remember, like, during the off season when he first got here, a couple of the boys would get a cut, like, some poker games going just at one of the other quarterbacks' houses, and he'd just show up and just play cards with us and stuff like that. Like, he's just a normal guy, loves hanging out, and he just happens to be really, really good at throwing a football. But no, he's a good dude. I like Carson.
Perfect. Well, we might just jump into a little bit of rapid fire, sort of try and wrap it all up a bit. But firstly, who's your AFL team?
Collingwood. So Mitch McCarthy played for Collingwood. So yeah.
Pies, man. Love it.
Yeah, big pies, man.
Good. How are you going to go this year?
Hopefully win the flag, but we'll see.
Nice. What's your favourite, or what's the Aussie food or drink that you miss most living in the States?
It's got to be a good chicken palmy from the pub and pot of draft.
Love it. What's the, if you could take one American food or takeaway, what would you take back home?
Chipotle. That's a good one.
Love it. Biggest crowd we had, but you said that playing against Texas A&M. Favourite locker room guy at Miami?
Honestly, the Specs. Like Michael, like my roommate Michael's funny. Bert Auburn, kicker, hilarious. Yeah, I'd probably say them too.
Love it. And who's a player to watch in their playoff natty championship? Who's one that maybe isn't getting the noise that Carson Beck or someone is, but we could look out for?
Well, I definitely watch Malachi Tony. He's really good. He's pretty much the whole offense. On defense, they don't really get, because them boys are going at it. Definitely like Keem Mesidor, Ruben Bain, and Keontae Scott. They're insane. They're holding the defense up. Jacoby, they're playing really good ball. So definitely give them boys some credit.
Beautiful. Love it.
Awesome. Well, mate, just to wrap everything up, like the last question we'd like to ask here is like, I think what would be like a message to some like young Australians that are sort of aspiring to choose the same pathway as you've gone down and chased being a punter and in the NFL, I guess?
Well, I think if I was talking to my younger self, if I went back in time, I would say definitely do it. I hope people can, that I can be a kind of a inspiration to young guys back in Australia. If they feel like they're stuck in a job that they don't want to do and they feel like they can go for bigger and better things, like there's definitely pathways that you can take to get over here and escape that, get a free ride scholarship, get a great education, set yourself up for life, like even just out away from football. But there's definitely pathways in Australia that you can take. And I think, if you look at my story and a lot of other guys' stories, I think anyone can do it. You just got to put the work in, but you just got to take the first step and just make the decision to do it.
That's awesome, mate. So good. Well, mate, we can't thank you enough for coming on today. Where do the listeners find you?
Instagram is just still Joyce, and I don't have Twitter because Twitter is ruthless.
Well, you steer clear of that one too, mate. Yeah. Awesome. Well, yeah, mate, can't thank you enough today, and good luck for this next week where, mate, we're going to be supporting the Aussie punters in there for sure. That's it.
Yeah. No worries. Australia's getting a natty either way. So
Yeah, we can't go wrong, can we?
Yeah, can't go wrong. So, it'd be good. Appreciate you boys having me on.